Looking sharp, team 3. Okay, boys and girls, as we start today, I need you to put your detective ears on. What is the problem? Keep your heads up. Thank you. Okay, we're going to put our detective ears on because I'm going to say 2 words. And there's only one little difference between the 2 words. And I want you to think really hard in your head what the difference is. Now, I know that I have some of the smartest 2nd graders in here, so you're going to know the answer. Should you yell it out?
No.
Even if it's obvious and you think everyone in the class knows the answer. No, this is a secret answer. You're going to keep it in your head until I ask you to share, okay? So even if you know the answer right away, you're not going to whisper it, you're not going to shout it out, you're going to keep it in your head like a trap. Are you ready? Luca's ready. He's got his eyes on me and his detective ears on. Salvador's ready. Here we go. Here are the 2 words, and we're listening for the one difference between the words, Damien. Pencil, pencils. Awesome. Wow. Hands went up in the air and we didn't say a word. I'll say it one more time in case anyone is thinking, I'm not quite sure. And you can check your answer in your head. Again, don't shout out. Pencil, pencils. Awesome. Okay, now we've been working on our buddy whisper. You're going to turn to your buddy. You only have 3 seconds. Tell them so quietly what the difference is. 3, 2, 1. I should see buddy talking here. 0. Thank you, team 1, for looking sharp by 0. Thank you, team 6. Who can tell me what they shared with their buddy? What is the difference between the 2 words that I said? Whitney.
There's an ES in the second one.
There's an ES on the second one. Nazareth, is that what you were going to say? Kylie, is that what you were going to say?
That it has a bunch of pencils and just one.
Oh, which word meant just one pencil?
Pencil.
Pencil. When I have pencil by itself, I know that it means just one. And Kylie said the other word meant that I had a bunch of pencils. Now, Whitney, you were almost right. But remember, when we have an ES, we say S. Did I say pencil S?
No.
No. We're going to remind ourselves of the rules of when we use ES and when we just use S. Does anyone remember what we call it when we have just one of something? When we have just one noun. Does anyone remember the special word for that kind of noun? Nazareth, you want to take a guess? We talked about how it's like when you're single, you're by yourself.
Singular noun.
Good job. Singular noun. And does anyone remember the fancy word for when we have more than one noun? When we, oh no, I did my attendance today. Kaylee.
Earl.
Say it one more time.
Earl.
So close.
Yeah.
Hello. Yes. Yes, she is. Yes. It's for you.
Oh, that was
So sought after.
I was going to be going to bed.
Okay. Kaylee said it. What was it?
Earl.
Pearl noun. She's so close. It's a hard word to say. Ready? Plural.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say.
Good. You guys had it in your head? Awesome. I love that. Even though you knew the answer, you didn't shout it out. You're raising your hand. Luca.
Proper noun?
Proper noun is not a plural noun. Does anyone remember what a proper noun is?
A person plays with things name.
A name. Very good, Daniel. Okay. Here we go. Eyes are on the board, just like, who's being a great example right now? Just like Kinkley, Kaylee M, and Bridget. All right, let's start out today. We are going to be talking about singular and plural nouns, and let's read our learning target so we know exactly what we're looking for together. I want to hear your best reading voices, okay? Ready? Begin. I can make any singular noun plural. I will show I can do this by changing for how to make plural nouns. And lucky my target is on every slide because I just realized I'm on the wrong one. So we already talked about this word singular. Can you please, let's see, turn and tell your buddy what singular means? There's a hint on the board. You have 5 seconds. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and 0. Whitney, what did you tell your buddy?
Just one.
Just one. Very good. And the next tricky word is plural. We have 5 seconds to talk about it with our buddy. Ready? 5, 4. Awesome. I see everybody talking. 3, 2, 1, and 0. Jessie A, what is plural?
More than one.
More than one. So we know that we are going to make just one noun mean more than one. We're going to turn our singulars into plurals. And we are going to show this by changing singular nouns we are given. They're going to tell us a singular noun, and we are going to change it to a plural by using the rules that we're going to review right now. A plural noun means more than one person, place, or thing. Easy peasy, we know that. Tongue clicking Mrs. Cow. Okay, it says, these are going to remind us of the rules we're going to use when we change them. And I love how Jonathan has his hands to himself. I love how Bridget has her eyes on the board. And I love how Alex is facing me. To change most singular nouns to plural nouns, all you have to do is add an S. That's all we had to do for pencils. We just put an S right at the end. And here's our example. Here is one girl. It's just a normal word, a normal singular noun. So all I had to do was add this S, and it became 3 girls. But sometimes a singular noun ends in S, SH, CH, or X. And we've talked about before that when we end in any of those letters, we need to add an ES at the end to make it plural. Do you remember why we said we needed to add an ES instead of an S? Let's talk about it. 2 seconds with your buddies. Really quick, remind yourself. 2, 1, and 0. Thank you, Anthony, for looking so sharp by 0. That wasn't a lot of time to think because we're just trying to jog our memories. Briley, do you remember why we have to add an ES instead of just an S? Would it be hard to read? Remember, let's imagine reading fishes with just an S at the end. Fish. That's not what we say, and it doesn't sound quite right. Thank you for trying. Next time, try it with me, and then we're going to stop together. This time, another example, we said if it ends in an X. We looked at the word fox last time. Now imagine we didn't have the ES. Try to read this word only with me, and then we're going to stop. Ready? 1, 2, 3. Fox. It just doesn't make sense. We add the ES because that sounds right. Fox says, fishes. Your mouth knows what to do with those sounds, right?
No.
Okay. So we went from, I love how Brady is not calling out, and I love how Ethan has his eyes on me. We went from one fish to lots of fishes. So we're going to keep our detective eyes looking out for S, SH, CH, or X. I think you guys are getting these rules. We are going to move on. The first one, I'm going to show you the steps that I'm going to take to change these singular nouns into plural nouns. I need you to use your best listening ears because for the next sentence, Jessie A, you're going to have to tell me the steps. Okay? Okay, so you got to remember. The first step, Nazareth, the first step I need to do is I'm going to read the sentence to myself and find the singular nouns. Can you guys read this sentence with me? Kylie E's eyes are on the board. So are Jonathan's. Ready? Begin. I like to swim lap 4 days a week. Now that didn't sound quite right. And luckily for our example, I already underlined the singular nouns we need to change. Briley. Briley already looked at this word and said, lap isn't right, and I need to make this singular noun plural. So the first step we did is we read the sentence, and we identified or found, Raoul, our singular nouns. Next, I'm going to look at the word, and I looked at the ending. What is the last letter of this word, Jessie A?
S. Yes.
as it is right now. You're telling me how to change it already. Yep. What is the last letter of this word right now, as it is? What letter is that? Very good. Does that fit any of our rules we need to look out for? Is it an S, SH, CH, or X? No. It's not one of our tricky ones. So you guys already said it. All I need to do is add an S. We're going to get through this lesson quick because you guys are fast. The next one. Again, I need to look at the end so that I don't get tricked. Bridget, does this word end in any of my tricky letters?
No.
So what can I do to make it mean more than one, to be a plural noun? Jonathan. All I need to do is add an S. The next thing I'm going to do, my last step, boys and girls, I'm going to read it again and see if it makes sense, okay? Can you read the sentence with me as we changed it?
Yeah.
Ready? Begin. I like to swim laps 4 days a week. Give me a thumbs up or thumbs down. Did that sound like a sentence you could say to someone? It sounded much better. Good. Remember, did I ask for mouths and thumbs? Thank you. All right, hands down. Now you guys, I'm looking for class helpers to help me through the steps of the next problem. What is the first thing we need to do? What's the first thing we did in the first? Turn and tell your buddy the first thing we're going to do. Go. 3, 2, 1, and 0. The very first step. Bridget.
The very first step is that
What's the very first thing we did with this sentence? We did it all together. We read the sentence and find the singular nouns. Are you ready? Let's read the sentence together. Ready? Begin. Swimming is good exercise for my arm and leg. I have a couple students not reading with us. Next time we need to do it all together. And they're already underlined. We know that we're looking at the singular nouns arm and leg. Tell your buddy, what's the next thing we are going to do? 3, 2, 1, and 0. You know what I heard, boys and girls? I heard almost everyone say, add an S. You're not wrong this time, but there's something we need to use our detective eyes for before we can just start adding S's everywhere. We need to check something in the words. Luca, I love how you are raising your hand and not talking right now. No, that's for our possessive nouns. But remember, before we added these S's, we checked something about our plural nouns so that we wouldn't get tricked. You guys are just thinking really fast. Brady.
Check the end.
We checked the end of the verb. Very good. Someone give Brady a high five. He got it. We need to check. Thank you, Damien. Thank you, Ethan. And that's enough on our pockets now. We looked at the end of the letter. At the end of the word, what is the last letter in this word? I'm going to ask Salvador. What is the last letter in this word? I'm pointing right at it. M. Very good. Is that one of our tricky words? Someone raise their hand and tell me. Is that one of our tricky words? Or tricky letters? Nazareth. So what can we do? Class, you're going to tell me on 3. What can we do to make this plural? 1, 2, 3.
Add an S.
Too smart. All we have to do is add an S. We have one more to change. Just like Lucas said, let's look at the end. What letter is at the end of this word? Alex, what letter is at the end of this word? You want to add an S. What letter is at the end right now? I think yeah, very good. G. Is that, Jessie A., one of our tricky words?
No.
So, class, on the count of 3, tell me what we're going to do to make it plural. 1, 2, 3.
Add an S.
Okay, there was one last step we did. Once we added the S's, Damien, that's enough. Once we added the S's, we did one more thing to check our answer. Tell your buddy what you're going to do. Go. 3, 2, 1, and 0. I heard it all over the place. Let's see if this person can tell me. Samara, what are we going to do? Read it again to see if it makes sense. I love how Luca is keeping his eyes on the board and he is staying with me. Let's read it together. I want to see Daniel and Alex and Salvador reading with us this time. Ready? Begin. Swimming is good exercise for my arms and legs. Without your mouse thumb up or thumb down, do you think that sentence makes more sense now? Anthony's not sure, April's not sure, Kaylee's not sure. You don't think it sounds better, Raul? Oh, I blocked the period with the S, didn't I? Now does it sound better, Raul? All right, good eye looking out for punctuation. Okay, the next one is up to you guys. Actually, who can tell me the first step? I have some students who know. Thinking in your heads, everyone. The first step we do every time we get a new sentence. Luca, what's the first thing we're going to do?
Read it.
Read it all together. Ready? I can see Briley's eyes are on the board. Jesse A's eyes are on the board. Nazar's eyes are on the board. Ready? Begin. Running is too hard on my foot. Running is too hard on my foot. Now, boys and girls, I'm going to be honest with you. I threw this one in there to trick you.
You don't trick me.
You're not tricked? Wow, I have some students who think they know the answer to this, even a tricky one. First, let's take a look at the word we are changing, foot. We need to make foot mean more than one. Turn and tell your buddy how you're going to make foot mean more than one. 3, 2, 1, and 0. Samara, how are you going to make foot mean more than one?
Feet.
She's going to change the word completely and make it say feet. Can someone raise their hand and tell me why Samara is going to do that? Damien. Foots. Do I say, I'm wearing 2 shoes on my foots? Is that something we say? No, that might be something babies say. And can I say, I'm wearing 2 shoes on my foot? No, sometimes we call them irregular or not normal plural nouns. And some of those nouns, you have to change the word completely. Can anyone think in their head? We've done a couple examples of these. Can you think of any other nouns that we have to change completely to mean more than one? Briley. Mouse. Mouse. What means more than one mouse? Mice. Hinkley, do you have one? Okay, that's when you just ignore it. Yep, all you have to do is ignore the inappropriate behavior. How about child? Child. How do we make child mean more than one? Do I say childs? Do I say childess? Damien.
Kids.
Ooh, I could change the word completely. I mean kids, but there's another one that fits with child. Carla.
Children.
Children. Very good. If you were thinking children in your head, give yourself a little pat on the back. Good job. Kate, Samara changed this word with us to mean more than one. We are going to get to practice on our own in just a second, boys and girls, but I need to know that you can do this. So, what do we have to do now that we've changed the word? Are we completely done?
No.
We need to
Read it.
read it again, see if it makes sense. Ready? 1, 2, 3, in your highest reading voice. Ready? Begin.
Running is too hard on my feet.
Does it make sense now? Very good. We're going to do one last example together because I think you are understanding it. If you can show me you can do this, we're going to move on to our worksheet. Ready? First thing we do, somebody raise their hands. Let's have row 1. Look at me. Row 1, that's Daniel, Jesse A, Damien, Kylie, April. What's the first thing we're going to do?
Read it.
Read it all together. Ready? Begin. The swim team takes bus to get to the pool. Doesn't sound quite right. Row 2. What's the second thing we're going to do? Tell me.
Look at it. at the end.
Look at the end. Hinkley, what do you see at the end of this word?
S.
S. Is anyone's brain going?
No.
It's one of our tricky letters. Row 3. What are we going to do to make it plural?
Yes.
ES. How did you know we were going to do ES instead of just S? Tell your buddy for 5 seconds. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and 0. Nazareth, how did you know?
Because buses sounds right, and if you just add an S, it would say bus.
We would be saying this sound forever. I love how Luca is sitting. I love how Samara has her eyes on the board still. You guys are doing fantastic. Row 4, in order for us to move on, can you tell me, are we done? What's our last step? Row 4.
Read it again.
Read it again. Are you ready to lead us, row 4? Ready? Begin. The swim team takes buses to get to the pool. No mouse, show me on your hands. Does that sound better or worse? So far, you guys were able to change all of these singular nouns to plural. So now, in order to get our target completely, I'm going to hold on to it. In order to get our target completely, you need to show me you can do this on your own. Let's take a look at how you're going to show me that. We have this worksheet where we are doing basically everything we just did on the board together. You are given a sentence. It says, make the noun in the parentheses plural. Then write the correct sentence on the line below. What's the first thing you're going to do when you get your paper? What's the first thing you're going to do with number 1? I should have more hands than this. We should all know the first thing we're going to do is what, class? 1, 2, 3.
Read it!
I knew you knew the answer. We are going to read it to ourselves. What's the second thing we're going to do? 3 people who know. 4 people who know. 5 people. We are going to look at the what. Ready? 1, 2, 3. We're going to look at the end of the word. Then we are going to decide which rule to follow. Is it going to be an S, an ES? Are we going to have to change the word completely? And our last step. Ready? 1, 2, 3. Last step. What is it? Read it again to check. Let's follow the steps for the first one, and then you're on your own. Samara's ready. Ready? We're going to read it together. Ready? 1, 2, 3. The
Players are getting ready for the big game.
I read it to myself. I look at the end of the word. It's an R. R's are normal. R's are cool. Player, I heard some of you change it already. How did you change this to plural? Jessie A. He just added an S at the end. Players, before I rewrite it on the line, I'm going to check and see if that sounds right. Read it with me again. Ready? 1, 2, 3. The players are getting ready for the big game. Then, when I'm all done and it sounds right to me, I'm going to rewrite it on the line. Boys and girls, I know that rewriting gets a little tedious. So my advice to you would be to go through and make sure that you know how to make each of these plural, and then go through and rewrite them, okay? No. We are going to have, how do I feel about complaining about assignments?
Yay.
It's not going to change the fact that you have to do them, and whiners aren't fun to hang out with, okay? I'm going to set the timer for 6 minutes. You have 6 minutes to complete as much as you can. I'm coming around to see how we're doing on our target. Then we'll all come together and see if we've done it. Let me... Wrong one. Okay. To your seats in 10, 9, 8, 7, Damien, please walk. 6, 5, 4, 3. Carla, I love how sharply you walked back to your desk without any words. My timer is going. You only have 6 minutes to finish. On your mark. Get set. Go. Hey, how do you get my attention? How do you get my attention? Thank you, Kylie. I love how Samara got to work right away. I love how Anthony is getting to work right away. We're not talking at all right now, so we're working on our papers and it doesn't matter. Let's see. I see Samara reading the sentence to herself. Each team has 10 child. I want you to, what would you say in normal life if you were just talking to somebody?
Alex, I actually think you're supposed to be doing this side. This is the side you're supposed to be.
There are some words that just have to change completely. When we talked about how child and children. I know it's tricky because they don't even have the tricky letters. But does it sound right to say each team has 10 childs? No. So that's when we just have to use what we already know in our brains.
Hi.
What do you need help with on this one? Explain to me what you don't. On the last one or on the fourth? You already have an answer already. Tell me what you wrote. Okay, what do you have there? Why did you add EL and Billy and Steph? On the other side. That's right. So you follow the rules, so I don't think you're confused. Ooh. Okay. Children's. Children. That might be one where you just children. Actually, you don't have an S on it.
Okay, Salvador, I want you to read it now. Each team
has 10 children.
You said, but you're spelling childs.
Child.
So what's the right one? Is it childs or children?
Child.
Childs? Think about that for a minute. Remember, that was one of the tricky words that Mrs. Earl was saying. What do you do with one of those tricky words? What word should it be? Childs? How about children? What sounds better? Each team has 10 childs, or each team has 10 children?
Children.
Children. Okay. Good. Is there a rule on how to follow those irregulars? You just have to know.
You just have to know
By-
what people say, even in
For
our
an
books.
ELL kid, it's
Exactly, because children's sounds perfectly normal
children's.
to them, or even child's.
Yeah. Yeah, that's
So
fine.
that's sometimes
Let's
you
just
say,
say that has
what
to
would
be
your
explicit
teachers
teaching.
say?
Yeah.
Not what would you say?
So you would have to explicitly teach some of those weird ones.
Exactly.
That's a tough one.
Awesome. Pictures?
I don't think there's an S. Just REN. Look at up at the board, Salvador. It's written in orange on the board. Look up on the board. Good.
Yes. Can you help me? What's that about? You know what Owen is?
Go on, Bubba.
Oh, very good. So we're going to say, oh.